Hello everyone, Chaos here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. In the previous one, we talked about the possibility of a new skill, which a lot of people seem to agree with, but only time will tell. I also read through all of the comments, so thank you guys very much for leaving feedback on that video. I had a ton of fun reading through what you guys had to say about the topic. But today we will take a look at pets in old school RuneScape, more specifically skilling pets. And I will tell you the best way of getting each one, since whatever you do when training towards a 99, the possibility of a pet is rather, well, slim to say the least. Before we continue, if you leave a like on today's video, it is scientifically proven that your RNG will increase, and right after you finish watching it, you will obtain that pet or that drop you've been after. Also, if you want to join our growing community, you can check out the Discord link in the description below. So how is this video going to work out? For each skilling pet, I will give you the best of 5 activities to do for the best possible chance at getting it, as well as the experience per hour, so you can also factor in that little detail. First, I will give you a brief explanation on how pet chances work, and how the information is going to be presented, so it's much easier to understand. Next, we will go over each skill and the best things to do to obtain the pet, and finally, I will give you a summary of all of the information for that certain skill we've been analyzing. Actually, one final thing I should mention is that all of the methods you see on the tables were done at average speeds and average focus, so I didn't go either super sweaty or super AFK just to have slightly more accurate information for you guys. Alright, so how does one actually get a pet, and what are the numbers behind it? This part of the video might be a bit boring, but it will give you more context as to how you can calculate the chances of obtaining a pet for every activity you want to do. If numbers are not your thing, you can skip this section of the video by using the chapters in the video player below. Every single action in the game when it comes to a skill with a pet available has a base chance of it happening. For example, when you craft a single rune, not including ZMI and Zaya runecrafting, you have a chance of 1 in almost 1.8 million of getting the pet. However, we get a tiny boost. Your runecrafting level multiplied by 25 is what's called a modifier, and this amount will be subtracted from the base chance. At this point, you can calculate how many runes per hour you are able to craft at any given altar, and that will be your number of actions per hour. In my case, I can runecraft around 6,800 mind runes in this amount of time. So with some nifty math, if I can keep up that number of actions doing something with a chance of 1 in almost 1.8 million, it means that I have a chance of 1 in around 265 of getting the pet every single hour I am doing mind runes. So to close out this part of the video, to calculate your chances at getting a skilling pet would be the base chance at getting the pet minus your modifier, which, like I said, is your level multiplied by 25. Then keeping track of how many of those actions you can do every hour, and finally dividing the modified chance at getting the pet by the number of actions you can do in 1 hour. That will be your chance per hour at getting the pet. Oh, and one final thing to note is that when I show you guys the table, the level modifier is calculated based on the level at which you can do a certain activity, or a level that's recommended to do so. I didn't want to leave all the modifiers at level 99 since I am maxed, in order to give you guys more accurate information. But to be quite honest, some of the chances are so tiny that even a modifier at level 99 won't make that much of a difference, if anything at all. So I am going to switch to some live commentary for me to go over every skilling pet and the best 5 ways of getting what you are looking for. Alright, we're gonna start with the absolute best skill in the game and my personal favorite one, which is runecrafting. Like I said before, I'm only going to mention 5 methods, and you guys will already have all of the information you need in order to calculate your chances at the pet if you are doing something else, like in this case, let's say wrath runes. Okay, I am not going to delve super deep into every one of these little details. I'm only going to talk about actions per hour, chance per hour, as well as experience per hour. And when it comes to runecrafting, one of the best things we can do at low levels would be lava runes. As you can see, 70,000 experience per hour are one of the best ones, and also it has one of the best, pet drop rates at 1 in 340 in 1 hour if you do it like a semi-full focus. I was not, I didn't really have good clicks when doing this, so if you are slightly better, it may be, slightly higher for you at getting the pet. When it comes to the ZMI altar, we have slightly less experience per hour, but it's a really good trade-off when it comes to AFK. As we have all, seen, the ZMI altar is pretty much meta, a meta staple in order to get to 77 for that nifty Zaya runecrafting. With almost 3,000 actions per hour using 4 pouches, you get a chance of 1 in 516. But when you are looking for a pet in the game, it doesn't get any worse than Zaya runecrafting. Blood and Soul runes, as you can see, a drop rate of 1 in almost 2.3k, or in this case for both of them, This, if you get the pet while they are runecrafting, you can consider yourself a very, very lucky person. Obviously, the most AFK way to train runecrafting, it doesn't have a great experience as well as not great chances of getting the pet, but if you did, congratulations, you are pretty blessed in terms of RNG. However, if you want the pet, there's no better thing to do than mind runs, because we have the Mind Alter Teleport in the Arceus spellbook. You can do almost 7,000 actions per hour with 3 rune pouches, which is the, what is this one called? The giant, large, and the medium pouch. That's what I was rocking with doing this. And it is a pet chance of 1 in 265 per hour. Also 40,000 experience, it's actually really good experience rate, but it's also really click intensive, so I'll leave that up to you guys. For woodcutting, we don't really have a lot of things to do end game to get to level 99, and in order to get to those methods, we are going to do some willows, and the experience per hour, as you can see, not really great, but the chances of the pet are also, you know, pretty decent, I would say. 1 in 343. When we get to level 35, we have access to teak trees, which is also a staple method to get to level 99. 1 in 261, and as you can see, the experience per hour is 80,000. If you do 2 tick method, it's obviously going to be way higher. But we also have Soleusep, which is going to be 1 in 607. The experience per hour here is going to be much higher, but this one is slightly more dangerous because, you know, the activity is a little annoying since you have to take a lot of damage. When it comes to magic and redwoods, this is absolute hell when filling up an inventory. When I got it and when I filled my inventory with these logs, it takes like over 10 minutes and it's really not that fun. The pet chances are 1 in 629 as well as 1 in 417 per hour. Magic trees, as you can see, 25,000 experience per hour, not the best. I don't really know why people do magic trees. You know, the money isn't really that great, the experience per hour is not nice, and the chances of the pets, well, not that great either. So woodcutting, I would personally go for either teak or redwoods if you are looking for something slightly more AFK. And we get into a skill where I actually have the pet, and it was obtained from the Motherlode, which is our first little method right here. As you can see, experience per hour, not the best, it's really not that great, but the chances of the pet here are 1 in 435. As you can see, it's fairly slow, but the base chance is not that high as, you know, compared to some other things we've seen before. But this one is where I got it, and I was super happy and stoked when that actually appeared. If you are looking for slightly more experience per hour, you can do iron ore at the the mining guild, or maybe some other place where you just drop it. And 1 in 441 is really not that bad. If you are looking for gems, you know, this is potentially useful for Iron Men. It is going to be 1 in 628 per hour, and I believe this one is also, you know, pretty decent experience. If we were talking about good experience, it doesn't get any better than granite, or is it granite? I don't know. Even though the drop or the chances of the pet are slightly lower, 1 in 735, the experience per hour is super good, and I would actually recommend this if you want to have carpal tunnel earlier in your life. But if you don't care about experience, if you are already 99, or if you want something super AFK, the Amethyst place in the Mining Guild is actually the best one that you can have, 1 in 393. However, the experience per hour here is going to be fairly painful. It is not going to be any higher than 25,000 experience per hour, but chances of the pet are actually the best one, so that is one trade-off you're going to have. Another pet that I have is the Heron for the fishing skill, and I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced, and I got it through Barbarian Fishing. Very nice. However, if you are trying to get to the higher levels, if you fish trout and salmon, you are going to have a base chance, or, you know, around 1 in 591 per hour. When you go to 58 or any higher level to catch other types of fish at the Barbarian Fishing, it is going to be a chance of around 1 in 455 per hour, and the experience per hour is also going to depend on how much attention you pay to the game, since your inventory fills up pretty quickly. If you want to do something more AFK, all of these 3 upcoming methods are where it's at, and also the chance of the pet is really not that bad. However, as you can see, experience is not going to be great. First we have Monkfish, 1 in 423, Anglerfish, which is slightly lower, lower, and even less experience per hour, 1 in 473. And finally we have Sacred Eel, which those are slightly less AFK than Anglerfish, as you can see, because, you know, your inventory fills up slightly faster. But it's going to be the same experience per hour, weirdly enough, because, you know, they don't give as much experience. This is the best drop chance, or the chance at the pet, in 1 in 299. So, if you want to do something AFK looking for the fishing pet, this is where you should go. When it comes to agility, we have so many options. However, in the end game, remember that we only have Arty Rooftop and the Hallowed Sepulchre. But if you are looking for the pet, the absolute best way to get it would be the Penguin Agility course. 1 in 164, however, 25,000 experience, it's really not that great. It actually bumps up a little bit when it comes to experience if you go to the Seer's Agility course, and for my calculation this was done with the Hard Kandarin Diary for you to teleport directly in front of the Seer's Village Bank. If you don't have it, it's going to be slightly higher chance for the pet and around 50,000 experience per hour, but this is also pretty nifty. Not a lot of people do Relica, because if you have the Hard Kandarin Diary for the Seer's Agility course, people do this until level 90, and, you know, it's actually acceptable. But if you go to Relica, it's going to be 1 in 447 in 1 hour. Weirdly enough, with the calculations, it's going to be the same drop rate. Well, me personally, it's going to be the same drop rate for the pet if you do the Arty Rooftop course. When it comes to the Hallowed Sepulchre, there are chances of the pet for every floor. However, I only calculated it here for the 5th floor. Now, obviously, this one is not going to have a modifier, because if you have 25 times 92, it's going to be more higher. Is that even how it's pronounced? It's going to be higher than 2,000, and it's really not going to make sense. So 2,000 is going to be the base drop rate. And at an average completion time of 10 minutes, you can do 6 runs per hour, which is going to be a chance at 1 in 333 after you finish the 5th floor in the Hallowed Sepulchre. I actually also have this pet, very, very nice, and let's continue. Farming is a weird one, because as we know, this is kind of time-locked, and you can't really do it consistently if it's not through the tide farm. But some staple methods to get from low levels all the way to 99, we have herbs, the Hespori, fruit and magic trees, and finally redwood trees. For the herbs, I calculated around 72 herbs from 9 patches, and if you do this every 80 minutes, you have a 1 in 1.3k chance at getting the pet. However, chances don't really get any worse than the Hespori. The base chance is 1 in 7,000, with the modifier is going to go lower and lower, but 1 in around 4 or 5k chance every time you do the Hespori is really not going to be that great. When it comes to fruit and magic trees, now, important thing to note, it doesn't specifically have to be magic trees. Any other type of tree is going to have the same base chance at obtaining the pet. But if you do these every day, or if you want to go slightly sweatier, remember that the normal trees grow at a faster rate, so you can do them way higher. But I personally did this once every 24 hours, so if you are doing this, if you do your 6 fruit trees, you have 1 in almost 1.4k chance at getting the pet, and for the trees, it is going to be 1 in 1.2k. However, if you want to do something super AFK, you have the redwood, and this is where I got my pet. I was super happy for this one, 1 in 2.7k, and it actually happened. Yeah, I was super lucky with this one. Farming pet's kind of weird, but this is actually where you get it. Rocky, one of the cutest pets that I unfortunately didn't get on my way to 15 million experience, but no matter. Remember, these are specifically for pets. There are other things like blackjacking, which I didn't include, but we are going to start with Master Farmers. Now, all of these that you see right here are, you know, kind of based around what level, how many fails you are also going to have, because at level 99 you have 100% chance at pickpocketing farmers as well as Arty Knights, but this is just kind of like an average thing that you can do if you are not paying full attention, and also if you get caught sometimes. But for farmers, I have an average of 2.1k actions per hour, which is going to give you a chance of 1 in 122. For the Sorcerer's Garden, it's going to be for the summer one, and if you do the if you do the one-click method, which there are great guides on it, you can get a 1 in almost 95 chances at getting the pet, and the experience per hour is also going to be very, very good at around 120,000. However, If you want something more challenging and something slightly more frustrating, but for better loot, you can pickpocket Vyres and the Elves after completion of their respective quests. As you can see, the chances of the pet are incredibly good. If you pickpocket Vyres, it's going to be 1 in 65, and if you pickpocket Elves, it's going to be 1 in 81. However, remember that, yeah, you're gonna fail a ton, and it's maybe not going to be too much fun. So this is specifically for loot, but also, you know, the pet is just like an afterthought that you can do. And finally, the staple method to get from, I believe, you know, maybe 80s or 90s all the way to 99, you have the Arty Knights. Now, if you do tick perfect clicks, which is going to be kind of tiring, you are going to get around 3,000 actions per hour and 250,000 experience per hour. However, I lowered it, you know, a little bit just to, you know, factor in some, maybe not full concentration. But your chances at the pet here are going to be 1 in 91 per hour. Obviously, one of the best ones, but yeah, this is mostly for AFK purposes, and you're gonna have a much better time than if you were to pickpocket Vyres or Elves. And finally, you can get the Hunter pet, the baby Chinchompa, by catching, well, none other than Chinchompas. As you can see, actions per trip and time per trip have question marks because you can't really calculate that since you can do those without banking or, you know, dropping your stuff. You can do it consistently without any breaks. And for the great Chinchompas, you know, at slightly lower levels, you're going to get a chance of 1 in 325 per hour. Also, experience per hour is going to be slightly lower, but as you remember, the great Chinchompas don't really have that great of a level requirement. However, both of these things go up when you move on to red Chinchompas. Your experience per hour is going to be, you know, anywhere in between 100 and 120,000 per hour, and the chance of the pet is going to be 1 in 215. Also great, but I also didn't get this pet on my way to 15 million experience. Finally, if you have big balls, or if you are a woman, if you have big ovaries, if you want to go to the wilderness to catch black Chinchompas, it's going to be 1 in 169, as well as 150,000 experience per hour, which is being very modest. But obviously, we have to remember that PKers can come in at any time and ruin your day, as well as, yeah, you're not gonna have a lot of fun. And if you get the pet and if you get PK, that's obviously going to be way worse, so do this at your own risk. And with that, we come to the end of the video. As you can see, this one is slightly longer, but in order for me to know which ones made it this far, we are going to have a bond giveaway contest. So, in order to be entered, in order to win one bond, which is going to finish this Friday, I will announce the winners in the comments, leave a comment saying pet, and let me know if you have a pet and how you got it. However, if you don't have a pet, let me know which one is your favorite one and what you are willing to do in order to get it. Thank you so much to all of my channel members, specifically the absolute madmen that are Josh B and Iron Rice for joining the Infernal tier, and Mr. Moldybot, who is part of the Nazi tier. Thank you guys so much, and if you want to check out, if you want to monetarily support this channel, you can check out the join button below, and also you can see what types of benefits I have for you guys in order to help you in your RuneScape journey, your video making journey, and also if you want to join the Discord, you can have some other benefits. So, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next video, which is going to be on Monday. This time around is going to be a surprise video because I don't know which one I'm going to go for next. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you then. You guys have a great week. Peace.